Jesus walked with these men, right? He did life with them, like all of
Life,
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 all of life, the
life.
ugly, the private, the stuff that we don't like, the stuff that we don't even want to think about Jesus doing. He did right around, right?
Oh my
I mean, bro,
gosh.
like I love how The Chosen is showing a little bit more of the humanity of Jesus, but
Yeah.
even The Chosen doesn't get
Right.
into right the dirty,
Right.
the nasty, all of
Right.
those things. Like
Yeah. Isn't it amazing?
Jesus had to pick
God
his
does.
nose.
God doesn't
I'm just saying.
sanitize the Bible. God doesn't
No,
sanitize the Bible, and He doesn't sanitize life. You gotta
no,
experience it all.
yeah, every single bit of it. And I'm like, man, oh, so it's important that we understand not just the nature of discipleship, but also the nature of who we're being discipled to, right?
Two.
So
Yes.
and that's that whole part. You said, Paul was talking about imitate me because and as I imitate Christ,
As
but
yes.
right, but I think that Paul's heart there was really imitate Christ.
It was
He was like,
absolutely imitate Christ.
so like that's the most important part of this. I think so. So, what are some of the misconceptions that you see along the discipleship process that continually happen over and over? You've hit a couple of those topics, but like as we and like as we go through this, what does it mean to truly be a disciple of Yeshua or Jesus?
Wow.
What does that look like?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Like you said, what's he really saying? Actually, it's imitate Christ. Right. But the problem is, if Jesus hadn't come down here and given the example, because he could have stayed on the
Mm,
throne, sent the
yep.
greatest manual ever created to teach us how to live. He could have just
Yep.
sent it. I mean, hey,
Yep.
that's what the Mormons claim, that they just sent the tablets, and I'm just saying, just he could have just sent
Yeah.
it, but instead he came down, lived 33 and a half years. They say 3.5 of those years
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
completely ministry, and he went and he called these men to
Hmm.
walk with him, to live with him, to do life with him. And the practicality of that and the simplicity of that is where we miss it in the body of Christ. We
Yeah. I
are.
would challenge it. I would challenge that there are women too, right? There's 12 men disciples, but I believe it's
Oh, when
actually
I said
7
men,
women.
when I said men, I
Yeah.
meant like in the Bible, the general word of men, meaning male
Yes.
man, female man. Yeah, because
Yep.
I love it, because in Luke, what is it, Luke 8, where it says that, or is it 18? Yeah, Luke 8, where it says, and these women traveled with Jesus, and they gave into the treasury, and it was Joanna, Susanna, the wife of Herod, all these things. And you look and it was the women that ran to the tomb first, went to the tomb first. So they were legit
Yes.
disciples, not in the generic sense, but in the
Yeah.
Jesus type of disciple. And you
Yeah.
find, see, I'm very practical when it comes to this. I feel like we get so busy in the body of Christ in America, and we get so over stimulized and over technically stimulized, and we remove the simplicity of what Jesus did with those men and women when he walked with them. And we become expert disseminators of information. And because we have the technology that we have, man, I can shoot you something that Jesus said or
Hmm.
someone said, and I think I'm discipling you.
Yeah.
And it's not.